Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Sáez Gutierrez. I am from the first course of primary education bilingual group. This is my final exam of Resources and ICT. Part 1. The project. Your mission is to develop a teaching project for an imaginary group of students. It means I just had a much more interesting idea. Let me show you. Well, as you can see, this is not my final exam. I introduce you my video of my real final exam of Resources and ICT. For this first part, I have created my own teaching project, or in other words, a technology and needs assessment for my imaginary primary school students. The title of the project is Design Your Own European Cities Virtual Museum, and the appropriate grade for making this project is the 7th course of primary education. Before we start, we need to be clear about the objectives of this project. According to the Spanish curriculum, better if we focus on these objectives. Objective 1.1, Objective 2.2, and Objective 8.2. You have all these objectives in the transcription. According to the ACAD, Activity Center Analysis and Design, that is a framework that explains and understands complex learning situations, my class will consist of 21 students. In our set design, we're going to divide the class into groups of 3, so there will be 7 groups in total. Each group will choose a city in Europe from this list of cities: Madrid, Barcelona, Paris, Rome, Athens, London, and Vienna. This project is for the social science subject. The tools they need are a laptop and a lot of interest. Also, the 3 tools that we are going to use are Wix, Google Earth, and Slack. Here are the steps that the children will have to follow to make the project run as smoothly as possible. Step 1. First, the class will be divided into workspace. In each workspace, the students will be placed in groups previously made by the teacher. They will have a computer per group, which will be provided by the center. Step 2. Then they will have to access the website Wix. You can see now how to access the web page. Then they will have to access Google Earth and search in the search engine for the city they have chosen. Once searched, they will be able to see its location on the map, a small piece of information, and much more. Then they should go back to Wix and start searching for a template they like for the museum and click on Edit Site. Step 5. Once they have created and completed the museum, they will need to access the Slack website. On this page, they must log in using your school email. They should answer 3 questions to get an overview of how they have developed the project. This project is easy to work and do it in class. Nevertheless, several problems might arise, such as the following. Copyright infringement, accidentally or intentionally. Many students may not cite the page from which they got all the information correctly, and there may be problems with the teacher. In order to solve this problem, we must provide them with the correct documents from which they will have to get all the information. Cultural problems. Some students may encounter problems related to the religion or beliefs of the building, such as churches or mosques, because they are associated with a particular religion or belief. Well, in order to solve this problem, we must explain to them before the project starts working that all cultures and religions are respectable and valid. We can do like a kind of tutoring. And finally, misunderstandings with information search. Some students may copy information from other groups than their own and can cause poor relationship with other colleagues. To solve this possible problem could be done like a kind of meeting before the day of the presentation to see what content is necessary and that it has not been copied from other colleagues. You can also create separate workspace. Well, the problems that can arise with the teacher in the classroom is that the students do not want to listen to her when she is explaining the project or do not respect her, and that can frustrate the teacher. The solution could be to change the teaching method in some way in order to make the students want to participate more. Also, provide the students with more motivational tools. Finally, in relation to parents, problems may arise because some parents may not agree to include the religion or beliefs of some buildings in their child's classroom. A possible solution could be a meeting with the teacher to clarify possible questions and misunderstandings. In general, there are basic free online tools, but maybe some problems or difficulty might arise. To put this in context, the children will be between 11 and 12 years old, so they have probably never used these applications before. They may encounter difficulties related to the language of the application tools, as you can see. They may not understand very well what can be done with them. Also, design complexity, because, for example, Wix application offers many customization options, and this can overload them. In addition, the Google Earth application, for example, can be time-consuming and distracting for the children. Finally, as a general problem or difficulty, they may find inappropriate content such as images or words that are not appropriate for their age, and also excessive use may cause addiction to technology. In order to solve these possible problems, we must be supervising them at all times and set a time limit for the use of these applications. The added value of using digital tools in this case is that the students and also all interested people will have access from any location regardless of time zone. Also, they will know more applications that they can use in their daily lives and in future. Cost savings and self-improvement are two main advantages or added value of using digital tools in this case. Finally, children are aware of the importance of technology and also they develop both collaboration and competitiveness among them, two fundamental characteristics for their development as individuals. In addition, customization. Digital tools can allow for customization and personalization of the mission experience because they can decorate it and express their creativity. To evaluate these tasks, I made a rubric in order to make the assessment more qualitative and easier to me, the teacher, and also the student. I will evaluate the content, the creativity of the project, the good use of technology applications, and the presentation. it will not be evaluated with numbers, as you can see, but with poor, enough, good, and excellent. I'll leave you a few seconds to visualize the rubric. I will still leave it in the description of the video. Also, to evaluate this stat, it will be necessary to carry out a day-to-day follow-up in class to see the evolution and how they are performing. So how this activity project is improving the students' personal learning environment building. Developing this activity will improve the students' PLE building in different forms. For example, they will improve their creation skills because of the dynamic of the project, the creation with Wix application, a virtual museum. They will be able to evaluate their previous knowledge of the technologies and improve it. As it is a group work, they will have the ability to solve problems and improve their communication skills, a key aspect in their personal development as well as in their knowledge of their own learning. And finally, they will discover new technological applications to search for information and organize content. For this second part of the exam, I have chosen the optional question number 2 and 3. This is the wording of the question 2. Please explain, supporting your justification with a diagram, 5 critical elements of this course that you would like to include permanently on your personal learning environment. First, we must be clear about the term PLE. I choose this definition. It is the set of tools, information source, connection, and activities that each person uses assiduously to learn. Here you can see my personal learning environment diagram where all the elements are included. Creation of blogs, learning through games, Padlet, Twitter, and Canva. Now let's find out why they should be permanent on my personal learning environment. Firstly, the creation of blogs, because for me as a student, making a reflection about what I have learned complements my learning and helps me to get feedback on the work I have done so I can improve. Secondly, learning through games, because this course we have even created our own, so I consider it a key aspect in my personal learning environment as it has expanded and reinforced my effective technique for my learning and for a more solid vision of games. After that, Canva, because thanks to this application, my way of organizing and ordering things in all kinds of jobs has improved radically. It is a very useful application in all areas of education for all ages. So in the future, as a primary school teacher, I will also be able to use it. Twitter, because it has improved my ability to demonstrate my social skills and my opinion on controversial issues, and also allows me to search for information and catch up with events in a fun and approachable way. And finally, Padlet, because it allows me to organize and keep it at a glance all the resources in order, making it easier for an educational use. Regarding the optional question number 3, I have chosen these 3 elements of the DIG complete: digital resources, teaching and learning, and assessment. And for each one, I create a short definition. Digital resources refers to all types of materials, applications, websites, or other internet resources that can be used through electronic devices such as a cell phone or a computer. This area has a direct connection with all the elements that we have learned in this course. The objective of this area is to effectively and responsibly use, create, and share digital resources for learning. So in general, in this course, I have learned that it is crucial in the development of our profession as a teacher to choose very well the resources with which we are going to carry out an activity. Teaching and learning refers to the process of transition of not only knowledge but also values and skills from teachers to students and how students internalize them. This area has the objective of managing the use of digital technologies in teaching and learning. One key thing I have learned during this course is that teaching goes far beyond a book or a final exam. It is the good development of the teaching learning process that make a person develop not only as a student but also as a person. And finally, assessment. Assessment means the continuous process of evaluating through all kinds of resources the skill, knowledge, and abilities that in this case were expected of the student in a given subject or area. What you have learned about assessment during this course is very similar to the teaching and learning area. Evaluating with numbers is not always good. However, assessing, for example, using a qualitative rubric empowers the individual's ability to improve.
Well, what is the mark I earned? Honestly, I think I deserve an 8 in this subject because I think I have made an effort in its project and I have participated actively in all of the roles and in all of the tasks. Also, I have been able to integrate well in my group, but I lack more involvement in the classroom and also generate my own ideas. Well, so what is the most important role I have performed? Well, the most important role I have performed is the analyst role because of the consequences it could have to the rest of my group college. Also because I believe that evaluating and making a reflection about the week, such as draw conclusion about what we have learned, what we will improve, etc. It's a very important task as a future teachers.
Well, what is the most challenging role I have performed? For me, surprisingly, it was the facilitator role because I am generally good at organizing tasks, but when it involves organizing other people, I get very nervous because I think that things could be wrong. For me, it has not been a challenge, it has been a self-improvement challenge.